So A Man Called Otto is the first film I've seen for 2023, and I'm not convinced. So this is the latest film starring Tom Hanks.
Back the fuck off! What are y'all doing?
I believe this is a remake of a movie called A Man Called Ovi or something like that, and it's based off of a book. And it basically explores Tom Hanks. He's this miserable bastard. He just hates everybody, doesn't like life basically, and you find out why in the film. Basically his wife has recently passed away and he takes his anger out on society. You're introduced to his new neighbours at the beginning of the film. Husband and wife move in across the street, and I forget the name of the actress that plays the wife across the street, but she literally stole this movie. Her performance was literally Oscar worthy. For the first 45 minutes of this movie, I was convinced this was going to be a really good film. Yes, I was thinking to myself, Tom Hanks is overacting so hard to the point where this isn't believable. Even the biggest fucking Karen on the planet doesn't act like this. He was just acting so over the top to the point literally he was a live action Mr. Nabcracker.
Get off my lawn!
And from being sort of funny, the way he's insulting people, about 20 minutes into the movie, he brings out a noose. And it's basically implied that he's going to try and kill himself. And another 5 minutes go by and he does try. And he tries this a couple of times in the movie. And the message I sort of got was that the spirit of his wife, you know, was in his head and was kind of saving him in a way. So yes, Tom Hanks was overacting a bit, but they were going from comedy to really dark moments. And it really worked. I was really emotionally invested in this movie. He's literally trying to kill himself. It's going to comedy. He tries again, and then it's going to comedy. And you can see him sort of starting to turn into a nice guy with the family across the street. But then about after an hour, this movie really, really loses its way. For one, Tom Hanks, his performance, yes, he was overacting at the start, but I feel like in the second half, he couldn't really convey the emotions on his face compared to the emotions that the character was feeling. And what I mean by that, in moments where you could see he was happy, it sort of looked like Tom Hanks didn't know how to act. Maybe that was just bad direction given to him, but I did notice that for the last hour. The movie definitely goes woke, and I mean, that's expected in modern day movies. I'm used to it. But they try and force messages down your throat for this whole last hour of the movie.
The message.
And not only that, there is moments of fucking stupidness in this last hour. Like, in one of the times he almost kills himself. He's basically about to jump on a train line, and some guy has like a heart problem and falls onto the train track. Tom Hanks' character, Otto, goes to the rescue, saves him. But while he's trying to save this guy, literally like 50 people are videotaping and not a single soul gives a fuck. Finally, 2 people help this guy up, and then Tom Hanks basically stands in the middle of this fucking railway. Literally just standing there. Like, fucking, come get me, right?
Get me! Get me! Get me! Get me!
Of all those people there, no one's saying anything. They're too busy filming the guy he's just saved. And people just forget that he's on this fucking train track. Then he hears his wife's voice saying, "Take my hand," and it's this guy that finally grabs him off the train track. Out of all these people. There was moments like that in the last hour of the movie. Just stupidness. And big movie mistakes as well. Like, there's another neighbor who's permanently disabled and he literally can't move. He doesn't move all movie. All you see is a smile when him and Tom Hanks like talk to each other. In the last 5 minutes of the movie, you literally see his character turn his head and start laughing. Like, what happened to the editing team? When I watch movies, I'm an emotional motherfucker, right? If a movie gets to me emotionally, you know, makes me tear up, they've done something right. This movie did get me in that way. Even though it completely goes off the rails and it just loses, you know, the beautiful charm that it had in the first hour. Going from, you know, life being so great for his neighbors, and he's hating it, but he's still making people laugh in a way, then going to try and kill himself and realizing, no, I shouldn't, you know, making up with his neighbors, thinking dark thoughts again. The movie was really smart in that way, but then the last hour, it just, I don't know, it just falls flat. But it was enough that at the end of the film, it did get me teary, I'm not gonna lie. And not only in that, in the first hour, you're flashing back to a young Tom Hanks, played by his actual son, and his wife when they were younger, how they first met. That was making me tear up a little bit too. But then in the last hour, when they're going back, it gets to a point where it was just too much, and the way it plays out, it didn't work for me. Look, this was a decent movie to kick off 2023. It did have its woke tropes, I'm not gonna lie. I just feel like messages were being forced down the audience's throat. Did it ruin the whole film? No, no way. What ruined the whole film is it just lost what it had going for it in the first hour. If I was rating the movie for its first hour, I'd probably give it a 4.5, maybe even 5 out of 5. I loved the first hour of this movie, but then it just falls apart. So I'm gonna have to give this a 2.5 out of 5.
Mid!
Look, this movie could have been, you know, easily a 5 out of 5. If it was as good as it was for that first hour, for the entire runtime, this could have been such a great film, but it just falls flat in that last hour. So thanks as always for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.